Have you ever shaken a can of soda really hard? Really hard. To the point where all that carbonation starts to fizz up and then you try to open it and then BAM! It explodes. This is a tragic thing to happen if it's ever happened to you, and it seems like this is a situation that is happening to Jojo Siwa. What do I mean by this? There are multiple things to talk about when regarding this issue, but the most recent one that's come out about a week or two ago is an incident where Jojo Siwa has turned 21. Yay! 21! Alcohol! Love it. And in order to celebrate her birthday, she decided that she wanted to go to Disney. I think it's Disney World. It's the one that's near Epcot, and she decided to go there to celebrate her 21st birthday. It's a unique choice, but not knocking it at all. But the problem is that while she was there, she decided to get abhorrently drunk. And it's not a pretty sight to see. There are multiple videos of her around the internet where she's basically very drunk and belligerent, talking to people, being very disorderly, to the point where people in the park can clearly see that, oh yeah, she is wasted, and they even mention it in the videos that she's in. And along with her being absolutely plastered, she decided to also try to get strangers to try to sing her new song. Not people that she knows, it's not a group that she traveled with. These are strangers that she has never communicated with, ever. And to nobody's surprise, these strangers did not know her song, and then it's painful to watch. It's really painful to watch. And because she was out in public, all of this was filmed, and then the private stuff when she was like in her apartment or hotel room or wherever she was staying at, she decided to film that and then post that as well. So not a great look for Jojo Siwa. The reason I used the soda analogy at the beginning of this video is because this isn't something that just kind of happened out of the blue. This is something that has been building up for a long time now, as it seems like Jojo Siwa is kind of going off the deep end right now. Recently she's been trying to change herself and change the visual that people have of her. Jojo Siwa has spent the majority of her life as a kid star. That's just how she got herself started off. She was a part of Dance Moms, which was... It's a topic for another time that I will never talk about. You could do a 4-hour video essay over Dance Moms, and it wouldn't be enough to cover everything, because that thing's just... It's just a mess. But regardless, that's how she got her start, and that's where she kind of got her fame. And as you can imagine, the beginning of her persona was very kid-friendly. You know, pink, glitter, ponytail to the side. That's who she was, and that's how she presented herself to the public for years and years and years. In fact, I think she was famous when she was 12, if not before that. So that's kind of been her persona. The thing is though, now she's 21. You can't keep up that persona for the rest of your career, because it's just not a good look. Eventually you have to make that change, and that's what she tried to do. She just didn't know how. The reason being is because when she tried to make her change, her first idea, for God knows why, was to change her persona into like this pop rock star. She looks like a band member from Kiss, and that's for some reason what she decided to go as for her, you know, visual representation, which just didn't really sit well with a lot of people. But that's visual out of the way. What about her personality-wise? Well, the thing is, with like the personality of Jojo Siwa, you would expect some like major change, and there is some change, but in all honesty, she just pretty much acts the exact same. Now, there are multiple different controversies that are currently surrounding Jojo Siwa, from people saying that the new music that she's putting out there is just a copy of somebody else's music, to her being very obnoxious to people and interrupting people. But there's really 3 things that I want to talk about that I think have been really the catalyst to her going down this path that's not really being good. First of all, and it happened not even a year ago, surprisingly, one of the first events that I don't really see a lot of people talking about is the whole situation with Miranda Sings. The reason why is because, if you're not familiar, she was very inappropriate with her fans, it came out, and now her career is kaput. Bye-bye. And I'm sure we can all agree that's a valid reason to get canceled. But apparently not to Jojo Siwa, because she decided to go on a podcast about 8 months ago with Howie Mandel, and she tried to defend Miranda Sings by first saying that, oh yeah, these are things that are just taken out of context, that the internet will just take anything they want and just run with it, which didn't really sit well with a lot of people, because there was no lie being told. Everything was true. So for her to say, oh yeah, these are just lies that the internet is running with, she never clarified what the lie was. And then in the same podcast, she decided to go like, oh, well, you know, it was just a misunderstanding. And if it sounds like I'm going all over the place, it's because it's hard to really describe what she was saying, because that's what she was saying. She went from back and forth, completely changing her stance from either it's a lie or it's just taken out of context, and that did not look good for her, especially when she also confessed that she was friends with Miranda Sings when she was 12 and Miranda Sings was an adult. So she kind of helped bury her a little bit without even trying. So that was incident number 1, and sure, that might be unrelated, but she never really recovered from that, and ever since then, things have just been piling on and on and on with her just being, frankly, really obnoxious. And with this new change that she's trying to do, it's just not been working. Because even though she looks different, she acts the exact same. And that's kind of something that I think is the main issue with Jojo Siwa right now. She doesn't know how to change. For somebody who wants to claim that, oh, I'm an adult now, I can do all of these things, she's putting the look on, I guess, if you can call this, you know, looking like an adult. But she acts the exact same, she has the same exact attitude. And I think this Disney thing is kind of the more damning piece of evidence that she really hasn't matured a whole lot. The reason being is because of all the ways that you choose to celebrate your 21st birthday, which is a monumentous occasion. You're 21, you get to drink. Oh, you get to drink. I remember my 21st birthday. Lots and lots of wine and steak. Where'd the years go? But she decided to do it at Disneyland, and I get it. Disneyland, it's a place for, you know, kids, but it's also a place for adults. Lots of adults like to go to Disneyland, and yes, you can drink when you're at Disney places. The thing is, though, is she didn't decide to just drink. She decided to get absolutely plastered in public and in a place that, even though it's for adults, is surrounded by children. It's not really a wise move. If your goal is to make your public persona change and to get people to think that, hey, I'm an adult, the move is not to go to Disneyland and get plastered. It doesn't look good, and it doesn't make you look mature like you want to. And again, overall, her persona has not really changed a whole lot. She tries to put on like this, oh yeah, I'm a rock person now. I'm the first of my kind to be like, oh yeah, I'm rock. Nobody has ever done rock like me. But her rock is, according to the mass public, the rock is not that good, and it sounds a lot like other rock pieces that have been put out there. So that's another strikeout for Jojo Siwa. It seems that every single move that Jojo Siwa tries to do in order to kind of swing off the old persona that she used to have of being this child star and being very family friendly, it seems that she just can't shake it. And I think one of the reasons why is because she spent most of her life in that kind of bubble. That's how she was perceived for most of her life. It is incredibly hard to shake that persona. And I know she's trying to do what Miley Cyrus and Katy Perry did. She's just not doing it very well. It takes so much more than a makeup change and acting more, I don't know, rock and roll, or like putting on a controversial look to be mature. It takes so much more than looking mature. It takes acting mature too. And she just doesn't. She acts the exact same, and she doesn't really have that maturity with her. And I think that's something that a lot of people are picking up. It's the same player with a different skin. That's it. But I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, because if you remember, Miley Cyrus and Katy Perry did not exactly have a smooth transition. This just might be a really tough period of her trying to figure out who she wants to be. That could be it. Minus the Disneyland thing, there's no excuse for getting drunk at Disney World or Disney, whatever Disney park she was at, because that was a bad look. But everything else, I think, is her just trying to test the water and figuring out who she wants to be in this new public persona. But she has to eventually come to the conclusion that I need to start acting different too if I want people to see me and treat me like an adult. And that's not, acting more controversial. It's just acting more mature, just thinking maturely. And I think until she starts realizing that and starts to act like that, it's going to be a very, very rough transition for her from kid star to adult. And who knows, she might find her stride. Just right now, she's in a very, very rough place. At the end of the day, you can't fake maturity. Either she is or she isn't. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Hopefully she'll be able to, kind of realize the situation that she's put herself in. But at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to wait and see. It might take a month, it might take a year, it might take multiple years. we just don't know. What I can say for sure is that this current Jojo Siwa situation is crazy, because it just seems like things keep stacking up for her and everything is just starting to beat her down, even though she tries to make herself rise to the top and kind of show that, hey, I'm a different person now. But it's just not that easy, and she's just going about it the wrong way. But as I said before, we're just gonna have to wait and see what she does in the future. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, if indeed you still are. My name is Brockster, and I bid you all adieu.